tried to Google yourself, and do you like what you see? That's what we're going to talk about today. But first, my name is Tamara Gady. I am the Director of Collin County Sales for Lawyers title. If you like my content, you're really going to love my escrow team. So let's get a conversation going about your title needs. You can contact me at any of my social media links. You can search me at just Tamara Gady, and they will all come up. Today on the show, I have Coach Kyle Draper. A lot of you in real estate already know Coach Kyle very, very well. And I thought it was time to have him back on the podcast today. So today, we're going to talk about your online presence. Kyle, thank you for coming.
Tamara, thank you for having me.
You're so cheesy.
I'm so excited. But that's who I am. I am cheesy, I think. That's what my wife would say. So it's a genuine cheesiness.
I mean, some of this stuff is cheesy anyway, you know, a little
true.
bit when you intro and stuff. So
it's true.
It feels a little cheesy too.
I mean, what I do for a living is kind of cheesy. So
people pay you to do this stuff.
Let's be honest.
Okay, that's not what we're here to talk about today. Let's get rolling, okay?
Okay.
So, social proof. When we were talking about what we were going to talk about today, you said the words social proof. You're getting referred, but when someone looks you up, they see nothing.
Yeah. So
let's talk about it.
Well, let's.
What does your online imprint look like? That's kind of what where we're going.
And let's go backwards just for a quick second before we then come forward.
Oh, I don't even know why I introed. You should have just introed.
It always.
Every time I do an intro, he's like, no, let's back up.
I just think of something better to say.
All right. Well,
well, to understand social proof, we have to first help the audience understand, like, the reason they know social media to be true and valuable is because they learned it as a sales tool. So most realtors, they know how to sell themselves on social media, but they call it marketing. Marketing and sales are very different. And so right now, for most realtors, Google yourself, pause this episode, go Google your name, and what are you going to find? Very little or very salesy stuff. So now we introduce social proof. Social proof is this. Tamara, we've been friends for quite a few years now.
Yes.
I trust you.
Cool.
Right?
Good.
I would think that you trust me.
Yeah.
And so if you or I call the other and go, hey, we went to this restaurant, it's unbelievable, you got to go. Well, 10 years ago, we would have picked up the phone, made a reservation, and I'm showing up there with Lana 2 nights from now.
Yeah.
Now, what are you going to do?
Go online.
You're going to Google it.
Yeah.
And no longer does the trust of our friendship even matter, because if you Google the restaurant and you see that it has 2 stars, you think I'm an idiot. Not, the internet. Kyle, I trust Kyle. The internet must be wrong because Kyle said it's amazing. So we now believe strangers more strongly than we believe our closest friends.
Yeah.
And so people, in my opinion, people are being referred constantly. Your name is being referred constantly. My name is being referred constantly. The realtors that are going to listen and watch this podcast, their names are being referred constantly. But when those people that receive our names go to look us up, are they impressed with what they see? And that is what social proof is. You've done such a great job for, probably almost 2 years now of like putting out good content, doing the podcast, like showing up in a more authentic and value-adding way than just, I'm a title rep and I'd love your business. And here's 2 tickets for your, whiskey sour. I hope we can do a deal.
Yeah.
That's what the industry does to get business. Well, you've actually chosen to add value. So we've got to take a bigger perspective look on social media is no longer a place to just generate new business. It's a place where we cannot lose tons of business if we're creating content that's actually creating value for people.
Well, and so, we're going to talk about some things that we've talked about on video 5,000 times, that realtors don't want to do video because they don't like the way they look and they don't like the way they sound. It's not just realtors. It's people don't like to do video.
Yeah.
And so, trying to get someone encouraged enough to even do one video is a big deal. And so my Facebook page is flooded with real estate professionals. I mean, that's the only people besides some of my family members that I let on my Facebook. And because I use it for business, right?
Yeah.
And so I see all of the posts, all the business posts. And so it's congratulations, I won this award, and congratulations, I sold this many houses, and here's my open house. And it's all the same stuff all of the time.
Right.
And look, I think there's a place for those things, but building your online presence, having people understand who you are as a person and a realtor, building that social proof so that when people do go to Google you, they don't just find a string of congratulations, I got this award, here's my new open house. And they don't, that doesn't tell you anything about who they are, right? I mean, I never talk about the fact that, I talk about the fact that I work for Lawyers Title, but I don't talk about title.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I don't think anymore, I don't know that we ever did. We don't consider the needs of the end consumer, right? Most realtors, the only question they ask themselves is, oh, I'm about to do a video. What's in this for me? That's why they're concerned with looking stupid. That's why they're concerned with getting theirs, because that's the only question they're asking themselves. Mm-hmm. If we would just turn the mirror and I would go, okay, here's the group of people I serve. What benefits them? What questions did they wake up with this morning, right? What do they want to see come across their scroll? Now I'm creating a whole different dynamic of content, and I worry less about what I look like, what I sound like, because again, it's no longer for me.
I use this example all the time. So do you remember the last time we did that? I told you that one video that we did was hilarious. It's like 5 minutes. You've never watched it, but I thought it was hilarious. Anyway, and we talked in there about some ideas for content, right? And one of the things that we talked about, this was in the winter time. It was like February, something's freezing cold. And we talked about winterizing your home and those hose bib covers, how to do an instructional video on how to put on, the fact that you even need them and why you need them and what they're for, but how to put them on your home. Well, like, it was less than a week later, one of my clients did a video on how to put on those hose bib covers, and he got a ton of traffic on social media. I called him up. I said, did you watch my video? Mm-hmm. No, he did not. He came up with that on his own. But I was really proud of him. I thought it was really cool.
You should take credit for it.
Well, he said he didn't. Well, okay, I could tell the story differently.
Yeah,
you did. He watched my video.
Yeah.
But, and I don't want to get too far on the track because I want to stay on social proof. But doing video, first of all, you just got to, like, oh my God, I don't even want to talk about it anymore. You just got to start doing it. But also, it is about creating that content that is valuable for people.
Yeah.
And look, guys, if you need ideas of what you should be saying on a video, you can reach out to Kyle or myself, and we will give you a string. I think you have a thing put together of content ideas.
I haven't added a new page. Website? Yeah, I added a new page to the website. Yeah. That just says free content, and it's dozens and dozens of ideas broke down for realtors, lenders, and then both.
I love that. I need to go look at that. I'm going to make a note about
that. But let me say this real quick before we jump in to the next thing, because like what the new layer that I'm trying to add to myself is, like, I'm a very playful person, but my content doesn't come across that way. So it's interesting. Like, when I speak, I'm funny, but when I do videos, I'm really not funny. And so literally today, this is going to mortify you that I'm even talking about this, and I'm going to share this to you. Wait. But a lender buddy of mine sent me a video through Instagram this morning, and he's on a beach with his wife, and his shirt's off. And he was just on my podcast, so he's thanking me for being on, blah, 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 blah. Well, in my deranged brain, I thought, well, if he's going to do a video with his shirt off.
Oh, no.
I'm going to take my shirt off.
No. Did your wife approve that?
She did not. That's why I know it's going to be good.
Yeah, you should talk to your wife first.
So, literally, like, I recorded a video.
Oh, my God, you did.
And I'm putting this on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. This is going everywhere today. Because the whole point of the video is, guys, part of the reason we suck at this, and I say we loosely, I don't suck at this, you don't suck at this, but collectively, we're just being nice to people. The reason we suck at this is the old school mentality of us is keeping us from being a little bit more authentic version of ourselves, right? It's the old school person that's like, well, I got to always be professional and I got to always be, well, that's not what people want. People want to see your personality. People want to experience, right? Like your content that's going to get the most play is like you hanging out with your niece or nephew, or you're going to a concert, or you're on the boat. Like that's what people are bought into. Not just, here's Tamara in a black dress talking about professional business.
But you
So
know what,
it's the
Kyle? That's the
collective
only
of
video
that.
I do is
No, I know.
professional video.
I know
don't
it
do
is.
any personal videos.
And you're not going to be bought into this. And
Yeah,
that's okay.
an absolute no.
We
I'm
already
not getting
know.
on social media with my shirt off and doing a video.
No, well, I do have an advantage over that I'm a man, and so there's just certain parts I don't have.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
But-
hide that post from my.
I'm telling you what, I think this post is going to win me more opportunities with people.
Probably.
Now, again, if that was all my content was me
Yeah.
with a shirt off,
Yeah.
that's a whole different conversation. But because so much of my stuff is full of value, is done really well, this is going to throw that curveball at people that they're going to go, wait, what? What? Does Kyle not have a shirt on? It's that.
Oh,
it's
people are
weird.
gonna talk on social media when you post this.
So I can't wait.
Wait,
as soon as
when
we
is this
finish
coming?
this,
Oh, as soon as
I'm
we
gonna post
finish.
it.
Oh my goodness.
And my poor wife is already.
I mean,
so embarrassed.
I feel like we should have exchanged phone numbers by now and have conversations.
Oh, pray for her.
Stuff. Yeah, I do pray for her regularly.
Thank you. She needs it because she's married to me.
But you do have a point, and maybe that's something I need to think about is I don't do any videos about anything besides real estate.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it hurts. Hurts is not the right word. It doesn't hurt. I think you're keeping people from some of the best parts of you. Because if you really thought about like your conversations with your best friends, there's
Yeah, but
more.
they're all in real estate, and we always talk about real estate.
Yeah, maybe that's
I have
just
two
the thing.
non-real estate friends, okay?
But y'all have non-real estate.
And we still talk about real estate.
It's true. Well, but we are about to record a podcast,
About
right? Where
real
we're going to talk about
estate.
real estate investing, which is a whole different side.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, true. And that is kind of what I would talk about. I don't know that I would like do a video shopping with my niece. I don't know if I would do that.
Yeah, I don't know if that's like my shirtless video. I'm still coaching social media.
Yeah.
Right. There is a point to the video, and I think it will be powerful when people watch it.
I don't know if I can watch it.
Just watch it with your eyes closed.
Yeah, that's
Okay?
true. Okay. Anyway, so not the point. Okay, so let's get back on track,
Okay.
right? We have a tendency to kind of all over the place.
Oh, man.
So the power of the internet, farming on social media, all of those kind of things, like it all starts with your online presence, right? And
Yeah.
so one of the notes I did have is don't hide behind graphics and do more video. And we
Yeah.
say that all the time, right? But how do we build the right online imprint?
Well, I think very first we have to have clarity on who we're trying to help. Right? You've heard me say this a million times in our classes over the years. Like, you do not claim to be Dallas Fort Worth realtor.
Yeah, don't do that.
You can't.
Don't do that.
I mean, there's
It's not
more
a thing.
people in Dallas Fort
I've said
Worth
that
than
before. It's
some
not a thing.
states have.
Yeah.
Right? So we've got to understand like who we're trying to serve, what part of the community, what type of person, what demographic, like what background do they come from, all of those things. That's where we have to start. And then we have to, I would say, like for a year, stop looking at metrics. Right? Most realtors are going to go, oh, I like that video you did. How many leads did it get? Mm-hmm. Like that's the first thing they say. Mm-hmm. But to me, that's not the next, like, that's like me saying, hey, Tamara, I started working out this week. And you're like, wow, how many pounds have you lost? Like that. Like, that's not a great first question because that's not necessarily how that works.
Yeah.
Right? It's the stacking of the consistency that ultimately leads us to the results that we want. And social media is the same thing. And so what I watch realtors do poorly is they do have a good idea. They face that fear and start doing some video, but a week in, 3 weeks in, 6 weeks in, they're ready to blow the whole thing up because it hasn't already rewarded them for the way they wanted to be rewarded. And so we have to just understand, like, this is the new way of life. Like we're in a podcast studio.
Right.
In the colony.
Right.
Like this is the new normal, right? Right now it's still cool to have a podcast. At some point it's going to be like, you don't have a podcast? Are you even relevant? Like, are you even valuable? Like, why would we? And so we have to be bought in without knee jerking constantly to, okay, well, that one got 300 views, but that one got 50. Well, that's not apples to apples, right?
Well, but I see a lot of that. I mean, look, the market shifted, things were just falling out of the sky for 2.5 years, right?
Yeah.
Everybody had plenty of business. You didn't really have to work for it all that much. And so, it was just a lot easier. Now, the market has shifted and there were a few people that saw it coming, right? And already started their shifting. But, now it's like, oh my God, I don't have any houses to sell, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm having a lot of conversations about going back to basics and rebuilding your business.
Yeah.
And a lot of these realtors are sphere-based realtors, meaning they get their business from referrals. But they keep getting distracted by these shiny objects online, right?
Yeah.
So we kind of talked about Google business pages, Facebook ads, that sort of thing. But and there is a company. I mean, I'm sure there's a million companies that you can hire to help build. They claim to help you get leads off Google. And I'm like,
Right.
but Google isn't a lead source. It's a digital business card, right? It starts with Google and then you move on to, or it can start with, and then you move on to some other things. And so the conversation that I started having with them is, like, why are you trying to do this?
Right.
You are a sphere-based realtor. Why are you trying to all of a sudden be a realtor that you're not?
Yeah.
And anytime you start anything new, it's going to be at least 6 months. At the very least, before it starts to pay off.
Right.
And so you need deals now. So why aren't you reaching out to your sphere? And your sphere is on social media.
Right.
Well, I mean, you call them and all the other things too, send them birthday cards, whatever it is that you do. But they're on social media. Mm-hmm. So if you're not connecting, if you're a sphere or a realtor-based referral and you're not connecting with your people, you're not going to get any deals. And trying to start something new is not a good idea. You
100%.
built your very successful real estate business on your referrals. So go back to doing what you're meant to do, what you're good at doing, your proven business practice, right? You don't need to start some big shiny thing. And so there's a lot of these companies out there that are dangling these carrots in front of realtors, promising them leads and resources if they hire them to do these, to build their Google business page. And I'm like, you can build your, it's all, what? Don't pay someone to build your Google business page.
Well, Tamara, you know this as good as I do. Like, we are prone, right? Our brains are designed to protect us.
Yeah, and I totally get why it's happening, because they're afraid, right? Because they're in a place where they need.
Well, and I don't even think it's as much afraid. I'm sure there is some fear there, but what I watch realtors do over and over again is they chase what's comfortable. Doing SEO, I don't know why I air quoted it. It's because it's an actual thing. Maybe I'm air quoting like the crappy version of SEO that a lot of companies preach to people.
Yeah.
But SEO is safe because it doesn't require anything from me. I pay money, and then based on what they say, they're going to increase my Google presence and my phone's going to ring. Like, realtors choose that because it's easy. Because as your business goes backwards, your friend list hasn't changed. You haven't lost your friends. Your friends are still there. You're just not tapping into those relationships anymore. But that's difficult, right? Eating crow and going back to writing hand notes or handwritten notes, going back to doing pop buys. Like, if that requires a realtor to eat a little bit of crow, like, their ego can't handle it. Mm-hmm. Right? And so they're going to go chase what they deem to be easy. But what's going to end up happening is they're going to get some leads that come in from freaking strangers that don't know them from Adam, that don't care to know them. They have no idea what it takes to convert an online lead, and they're going to be in the same place that they were now, but just with less money, and they're going to blame the company for why it didn't work. And it's just this, it's Groundhog Day.
Well, and look, online leads are so much more work than your referral
Oh,
leads.
yes.
So much more work.
Yeah.
Because they no-show, they're not actual leads, they ghost you, they hire more than one buyer's agent at a time,
Right.
and go work with somebody else when you've shown them this house. I mean, there's a million things that go wrong with online leads, right? Yep. And referral leads, your sphere leads, so those people know you, like you, trust you. They referred you to somebody that you can build a relationship with too, but there's that trust is already built. They're serious about buying or selling a house. I don't know why you would try to do something. I mean, look, I get that online leads work for people, but it's a lot of more work. I mean, I hear from realtors all the time who buy the Zillow leads, realtor.com leads, all that kind of stuff. And they talk about all of these things that I just said. They ghosted me. They never texted me back. I mean, there's whole snapshots of text strains, quit calling me and, all of this stuff. So I just, I don't know how it would be more comfortable to go after an online lead than go after a sphere lead. Right? I don't understand the hesitation, especially if that's how you built your business. I think we all, not just realtors, but I've had this conversation with my escrow team too. Like we forgot what it was like before COVID. We forgot.
Yep.
We forgot. It's 2.5 years, and all the things, like I even have talked to some of my escrow team about, I'm like, we need to be doing this again. I forgot, and so I get it. That it's happening to everyone. We have to get back to the way we did our business. COVID's done. Okay. I mean, it's still a thing, but that time period is done and the market has changed. And all of the rah-rah meetings, Keller Williams mega camp's going on right now. EXP is having Tom Ferry's here, all the stuff. And so all of these meetings, I mean, I saw the first general session of Keller Williams mega camp and it was completely about the shift. Getting back to basics. You mentioned handwritten notes, but all of that, nobody's saying all of these back to basic things don't include a very robust social media presence.
Yeah.
They have to include a robust social media presence because those are your friends. Those are your sphere, right?
Right.
So you can't go back to pop buy's handwritten notes, 20 phone calls a day or whatever it is that you're going to do to generate your business and not include social media as part of that sphere lead generation.
Well, I think it has to sit in the forefront now, right? I don't think it's allowed to just say it's in association with. I think it has to be what we lead the way with, right? Just yesterday, I jumped on a sales call with a realtor out of Arizona. I had no idea who she was. And so I was like, hey, Shay, before we jump into this, how do we get connected? And she goes, oh, I just found you on Instagram. And I was like, cool. 8 minutes later, she signed up for content compounding. Why? Because she spent time investing in my content so that by the time we got on the phone, she was already sold.
You're having a lot of success with that. And maybe this is an offline conversation. But I'm trying to generate revenue based off of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And to me right now, that's not happening. It's just marketing for me, right? It's not converting into a sales lead of some kind.
Right.
And so we can talk about my issues later, but how do realtors best position themselves to generate leads from social media? Because people are going to want to know that.
Yeah, I mean, number one, they have to position themselves as an expert. And you don't get the title of expert by just selling a lot of houses. That makes you good at sales. That doesn't make you the expert. We call experts the people that educate on subject matter. All right, so for you, if literally today you were like, you know what, I'm going to start doing a sweet tea video every day. I'm going to travel around Texas. We're going to try sweet tea at different restaurants. A year from now, if I think sweet tea, I go, I'm going to ask Tamara. Tamara is the expert of sweet tea. Well, all realtors are experts of themselves because all they do is talk about themselves. Mm-hmm. And so to me, they want leads from social media. They have to actually educate in the vein of social media. So for you, it's slightly harder because we all know that the educational realm of title is very small. and then it's excruciatingly painfully boring. Right? And so
Yes.
so you do I think have to like be creative. This is why if you were willing, like, well, in our next podcast when we start talking about real estate investing, I think you doing real estate investing videos is going to have realtors coming out of the woodworks that want to work with you, because now like you're providing value to them that's bigger than just let my escrow team help you close your transactions. You're going to actually start like participating in life together, which is, I think, really important right now because we can't cubbyhole our business anymore, right? I can't be, title person over here, dad over here. Like I go to church over here. I go to sporting events over here. Like everything exists inside of itself.
I love that you said that. I wrote that down. Participate in life together. So
That's
your
good.
social
That's
media
good.
is a good one.
Yeah.
I wrote it down. It was a really good one. So I think that that's a great vantage point to come from when you're working on your social media. Participate in life with the people that you want to do business with.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
It can't just be congratulations on my latest listing. It has to be
Right.
participating in life together.
Yep.
So I think that's great. I love that. I'm a huge fan of that.
Well, and let me give you one more quick story to help kind of drive this home. So 2 weeks ago, we are swimming at my parents' house. It's a few days before school, right? We're letting the kids get their last summer jitters out of the way. And I check my phone, and somebody signed up for a sales appointment on my calendar for like 30 minutes from then. So I get out of the pool, I dry off, I go get on this call, and here's what this guy says. He's a lender from Pennsylvania. Literally, he's like, man, I'm so excited to talk to you. I heard you on a podcast. I went to your website. I went to your social media. I watched some of your videos. And dude, I just have to tell you, I love that you used to be a pastor. That's what he said. Then, Tamara, he goes, but before we start talking about this, how do I know that what you do works? And, I'm sarcastic, and you are too, and I think that's why we're probably friends. And so I started laughing, and I said, do you want to remind me again how we got on this call? While I'm in the pool hanging out with my family, you're doing research on me, watching my videos,
Right.
identifying with me as a pastor, right? Identifying that I have kids the same age as your kids. And so we ended the call, and he's like, hey, let me call a couple of your references, and I'll get back to you. 10 minutes later, he texts me and is like, hey, I'm ready to go.
That's awesome.
I did nothing other than create content that's bigger than just, do you need a social media coach?
Right.
Do you need a marketing company to come alongside you and help you spread your message? That's garbage.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that, but that's the content that realtors do.
Yeah.
And so they got to
Yeah.
change. They've
Yeah.
got to be better.
And look, I like to participate in life together. I'm thinking about some things that I might do that aren't
Yeah.
real estate related videos now. And then also, look, realtors still need to do the add value thing, right? So explaining a home inspection process, talking about what an appraisal means, helping people with their homestead exemption filings. Oh my goodness, I'm having trouble today. The hose bib cover thing, winterizing your home, things you need to do in the summertime, change
Right.
your AC filter, all those things. I mean, there's people in my neighborhood who have never owned a house before, and they're like, how often do I have to change my filter?
Right.
Do you know I have 3 realtors in my neighborhood that do zero marketing to my neighborhood? And they should be posting stuff like this all the time on
All
our
the time.
Facebook page,
All the time.
And so, anyway, we're going to have to wrap up here really quickly. But if is there anything else that you feel like we need to kind of end with as far as kind of driving home this, making sure your online imprint is where it should be to start to,
Yeah, like let's
build your business.
Let's end safely, right? We've tried to force them onto video with the
We
majority
always
of this
do. We always are like, you need
and
to
it's
do a
because we
video.
love them.
Yeah.
And that's what they need to be doing, right?
Yeah.
We could do a podcast and be like, well, you should post fun graphics and you should, but like that doesn't move the needle. But something that I do believe is very simple that does move the needle is getting into social, whatever platform you choose, and just engaging there.
And being consistent.
Just be present. Like if realtors would say, I'm never posting again, but I'm going to DM 5 of my friends every day and just check in on them, see how they're doing, see how Billy's first day at pre-K was, right? Like just be a caring human, and I guarantee you they'll double their business because you're showing up in people's lives. That's how this works, right? We run into people at Target and it's like, no way, I haven't seen you in forever. Boom, reconnect happens. I can do that every single day on purpose through social media by just paying attention to what you're posting and then showing up in the DMs and being a super fan of Tamara. And you go, man, I love that Kyle's in my life, and that's going to turn into business. It's super simple.
Yeah, and you do need to do your Google business page, right? And you do need to have your people going on there and doing reviews for you so that you boost your SEO. You need to be on the social media platform. So all of that stuff is super important, but having the idea of what it is you need to do and how you need to engage once you get there is also super important. So I think that building your online imprint and doing it in the right way where people want to pay attention to what you're talking about is super, super important. So thanks, Kyle.
You're welcome.
I think you did a great job on video today.
Thank you, Tamara.
So thank you so much for joining us on another episode. Again, I'm your host, Tamara Gady. If you like my content, you're really going to love my escrow team. So let's get a conversation going about your title needs, and you guys make it a great day.